Hey, I'm Pat B.
And I'm Adam Willis.
And you're listening to the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. Pat B.
And I'm Adam Willis.
Alright, outside. Outside. You know what? I'm tired of this, man. You never hold it. Never any support. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Geek Down here on WEMF. I am Pat B. On the side of me right here, the always unsupportive.
Dude, you can't ask. You can't ask for support all of a sudden out of how many years has it been to do the intro? Now you want support for it? Yeah.
Out of nowhere. I just said pop with me. You sat there and looked at him, man, like you got 10 heads.
Well, I didn't know you were talking to me.
Oh, come on.
There's two of us in the room, but I thought you were just talking to
yourself. Another episode of the Geek Down here on WEMF. The man you just heard bickering like an old married couple. Yeah, Archie bunker ass mother.
Ebony
Black
and Ivory up in
Willis.
here. All right, man. How you doing, man?
I'm okay, man. It's one of those days, you know. In the background, not ready to go down with the sound. I'm looking, of course, at the man fiddling with equipment, just Johnny.
Yup.
Hey, and we have an action-packed, fun-filled show for you. We're going to break down some of the trailers that just came through Comic-Con.
Yeah, how long does that go for? Is that still going on?
No. It's over. It's
over
a
now?
one-weekend affair, but
Right.
everyone knows that it's going to be thousands upon thousands in the house. It's going to be ass to crotch smell all day, all weekend.
Yeah.
And then you got to break into Hall H for all the stuff that'll be on
on the internet in about 15 minutes.
Seriously, no. I've done it once and only once, and
You went there?
Yeah. Back when I was a young naive job sucker.
A buddy of mine goes there every year. You know, he works for Hasbro, so he goes and he sells stuff for them.
Okay, that makes a little more sense if he's there.
He's not just going to hang out. No, this is like a 40-year-old dude.
Okay.
He's not going for
there
fun.
are 40-year-olds in the house, man. It's
Sure, but those are the kind of guys you're going to invite back to your place.
I don't know, man. I mean, a couple of ladies maybe. Have you seen the costume?
I have seen, yeah.
Oh, you know, whatever.
I had to clear my browsing history after I checked them out.
Oh, you should be ashamed of you. Black Edible is real. Not forgetting this is live broadcast radio. People are listening somewhere.
Yeah.
And
I almost forgot that's why we're doing this.
All right. Well, Johnny, how about you, man? You checking out Comic-Con?
No.
No.
Just no. Yeah, no.
I'm not a huge comic fan, so.
Well,
I appreciate comics. I understand that. There's a lot of I love
comics,
cosplay.
It's cinema. It's cosplay.
I love that.
Gaming. Yeah. It's all the good stuff that brings people together.
Right.
I really wanted to see like Blade Runner stuff. I think that's what I was focusing on. Yeah, they did. They did.
It's just I had other stuff to do, so I did those.
All right.
You're like a normal human adult, like
dude, far too important. Nah, I'm busting your balls, man. No, we got an action-packed show for you, dude. We have the Comic-Con trailers. We're gonna break them down.
Yep.
We've also got reviews for Dunkirk.
Yep.
For the new Zelda DLC for Okja. Am I even saying that right?
Okja?
Okja?
Yeah. Okja.
Okja.
Yeah, it's supposed to be said in like a South Korean accent, so it doesn't really matter how you say it. It's Okja, yeah.
All right. There's no one more South Korean than Tilda Swinton. Right?
And then Jake Gyllenhaal actually is.
Oh wow! Okay, the
too.
full epic cast.
Yeah, this is on Netflix, so this is a great film. We'll be talking about it a little later, but yeah,
Cool.
before then, we are to break down a bunch of these new trailers that came out. Is there anyone in particular that you were most excited about? I mean, there was Thor Ragnarok. There was what else we got? Justice League.
There was Justice League. Yeah, Justice League giving us the proper Comic-Con trailer where we actually get to see action, not just Batman going on his little recruiting spree, which I think was a waste before. Because everyone really wants to see the action, and they haven't showed us that until now.
They're just showing Ben Affleck just rolling around and talking to people, and then they push him against the wall, and they're like, oh no, and then it's like breaks, right?
Sad mugging all over the sucker.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of high points where he and Jason Momoa had those, those middling stare downs where it's like, yeah, I know you're some hot mess, but I'm hot mess too. You don't want to.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on the whole Jason Momoa thing either.
You're not?
Like, I don't know.
Oh, come on,
about
dude.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe it's bigger on DC level because I don't give a crap about any stuff they're doing.
Wow.
And so I think what they're failing against Marvel is their casting, and I think it's just been so lame by comparison.
Well, I think
that's been forever though.
Sure, but this is in this case, especially with like this new Justice League stuff. I mean, Wonder Woman, I think they did well, but
they did
with
good
Gal
job
Gadot,
with Gal Gadot. I think Jason Momoa might be a fresh take because we haven't seen, I don't recall at least, a big picture, silver screen, major motion picture.
not since
Aquaman
Entourage, yeah.
representation.
I don't think anyone
not
wanted
since,
it.
not since
Okay, all right.
Entourage, yeah.
We
No.
do not invoke that.
No one wanted it.
No one. Aquaman?
Yeah, who wants Aquaman? I
well,
don't want Aquaman.
I can't think of anyone
Aquaman's
who's
kind of
specifically
boring,
vying
I
for
think.
it. And Aquaman doesn't have to be. Aquaman's a character that I think over the years has been very underutilized.
Yeah,
And Jason Momoa's got just enough juice and just enough appeal with the ladies.
and just enough pecs, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like
he can bench press this movie. Yeah.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong. I think Jason Momoa in the public eye is like The Rock's younger brother.
Yeah, but he
You know,
should
it's
have
like The
he
Rock.
should have been shirtless. He's not shirtless in the trailer, right?
That's just the trailer, man.
Yeah.
Give it time.
His
He's
suit
no-
should be
There's
green.
no way he's not taking his shirt off.
His suit
There's
should
just no
be
way.
green and orange, right?
The shoot should be at
And
least
it was
green,
like blue.
green and gold. There's
Like-
orange in there. It depends, man. This is interpretation.
Yeah, I understand, but like Wonder Woman, her costume spot on.
Mostly,
For the most part, I mean, it's
mostly.
modern, right? It's a contemporary take on Wonder Woman's costume. Same thing with Batman.
I still like Wonder Woman in those vinyl jeans they had for the failed pilots.
All right, so what do we see in this new trailer?
Yes,
What
in
do
this
we
trailer,
got?
we're starting off with the Justice League trailer, by the way, for anyone who joining us late, if you will. The Justice League trailer now has the Justice League in action. If anyone caught the previous trailers, it was mostly Batman recruiting for some big evil that he's expecting, and we come to find out that's the parademons that were in Batman vs Superman, also known as garbage on a platter. Well, in this one now we see Cyborg introduced to the mix, actually with a couple of lines. We see Alfred having a bigger role, more of like a more of like an Oracle type character.
Yeah.
He's manning the keyboards and the monitors back at the Batcave.
He's a little younger-ish.
Alfred?
Yeah, looking.
Maybe this is.
Who's
this
the
is
actor
Jeremy
playing him?
Irons.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons is the man, but he just
Yeah.
looks like a leaner version of Alfred than I've seen. Like he looks
Oh, I
like
see
he
what
could
you're
throw
saying.
down. You know
well,
what I mean?
True, but we
Yeah.
all got comfortable with the Michael Caine, more
Yeah,
frown
like old
conscious.
Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah.
you know,
It's like they
oh.
aged up Batman and aged down Alfred.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's
Interesting take.
Maybe it's a parallel thing where it's like Alfred died and this is like his clone or this is his long lost nephew.
Yeah, I think
also
that's
named
where
Al-
they're going. Yeah, I think they're
Ooh, no, I
spending
got
a
it.
lot of Alfred time in this next one.
I got it. Batman got older and kept doing his Batman routine. Alfred, meanwhile, did CrossFit. Yeah, so there you go. That explains.
There you go. TRT replacement therapy and all that stuff.
I'm liking this though. In this movie, man, we saw more action by Gal Gadot. We saw more action by Gal Gadot and a couple of her scenes as her alter ego,
The
Diana
bullet
Prince.
flying by her face. A little
Yeah,
bit,
well,
that
I
one.
think DC has never really gotten the full hang on showing the solid action involving people's powers. And when you have super speed, like Wonder Woman's supposed to have a level up, nowhere near like the Flash and a level below Superman, but still legit. And that could have been done more interesting. If she did like a Matrix thing, she looks aside, she steps to the side, she watched the bullet, maybe deflects it or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Play
The
with
action didn't really look that great from what I saw. Plus, it's like all these trailers and everything in the DC universe seems to take place in this like weird oatmeal night sky.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
pretty-
It's all like dark and I mean I get it.
Oatmeal.
It's like this brooding type thing, but like I think it takes away some of the fun that we're supposed to be having with
Well,
these
I
characters a
blame
little bit
Zack
too. It's
Snyder
supposed to
and
be have
Christopher
fun.
Nolan for that.
Yes,
Christopher
you
Nolan
should.
gave us
Well,
they
but
were very
Batman's
good
like a
Batman
nighttime
movies.
thing, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
but even
Yeah.
those daytime scenes had kind of like that darker hue. Like it's never a sunny day in Gotham.
Right, but I get it. I get that, you know what I mean, as a concept,
And also
you know what I
Zack
mean?
Snyder. That's why I brought him up because the previous movies he did, the Superman movies and the Batman,
Watchmen, yeah.
Yeah, and well, Watchmen to a lesser degree, and we'll let me know. Let me take a couple seconds to talk about that. That's a side story. Those are like side offshoots. That's like, okay, we have Pat and Adam Willis, and that would be like the adventures of Dave Crespo elsewhere in the family. Someone who's been seen every now and then, exists in the world, but is not a direct part of this main story. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
interesting. Okay.
So it's like this is Pat and Adam, and that's a story of like Adam's old hat. You know what's going on there.
Yeah, I got you.
Where
Yeah,
was I?
I'm actually with you there on sort of the scenery and how it looks, but I think it's looking at that movie, it looks like whoever's directing, I don't know if it's the same director as Wonder Woman.
No, Zach's. Oh, that's Wonder Woman. Sorry. No,
No.
this is being taken over by. Oh, I just had it. Damn, I want to say Joss Whedon.
Okay. Or cinematographer.
Well,
I don't know who it is, but
Josh Whedon took over from Zack Snyder when he
Zack Snyder unfortunately had to leave the project due to a very unfortunate death in the family. We hope he's doing okay now. I mean, we've talked endless amounts of stuff about his work, but only because at some level we do like it, and we don't really wish any kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
we just
of course,
wish the best for him, but also kind of looking at it as a good thing that this project went to different hands because this opens it up to different interpretations by critics.
Well,
and
I don't think one director should have like kind of that, hangover every property type thing.
Image.
You know what I mean?
I don't think he'll ever completely get over the stigma of Sucker Punch.
Oh man, that was so bad though.
It was long ago.
Very, very beautiful movie to look at
but it was so bad
until you're past puberty.
Until you actually like start following the image, and you're like, this is terrible. This is terrible stuff.
Batman versus Superman.
Well, it's like every DC movie. Every recent
they're all
one, right?
dark for no reason.
Looks good, right? They focus on the visuals, and then the story is like a second thought.
But not fair anymore. After we got Wonder Woman, we've seen that DC can take a step in the right direction.
And what they have to do is they had to give it to a woman to make it on you.
But so tying it into Wonder Woman, it looks looking at that trailer, it looks like they took a lot of nods with Wonder Woman, or maybe this is just a DC thing, but every single shot they sort of had an angle, sort of a perspective in mind for highlighting the hero. Whichever hero was in the shot, they were sort of prominent, and the background, it was almost like an animated, like a comic background with a focus, like a big zoomed in focus on that character, that whatever hero it is, doing some sort of heroic pose after they've done something in the action scene. That was everywhere in Wonder Woman. It was awesome. I actually really liked that kind of artsy shot.
And that's a questionable thing to do because Wonder Woman did it well.
Yes.
Most every other movie besides maybe the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight movies, when they've tried to do that, it's been the corniest shot in the scene. Oh, and I guess I'll give it to the Tim Burton Batman when you had him standing on the roof, and then you see the symbol in the background, and he jumps off.
Yeah.
That every other time they've tried to do it, God forbid you bring up George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell.
That's just a nightmare.
Yeah. But that's basically the origin, and they made fun of it in Deadpool, not a DC property, but when Angel, that was her name, played by Gina Carano. I'm getting there. I'm slow.
Yep.
But when Angel jumped off of the now we know
the 3-point stance landing,
superhero landing. Superhero landing. That's what it is. It's that cliched pose that they've been forcing people into, and Wonder Woman did it right, which gives me hope that Justice League will do it right too. I especially like the Flash doing comedy in this one. DC Universe characters are funny. They're amusing to watch. You go back to them because they give you hope. They amuse you. The stories entertain. And none of the ones up until before Wonder Woman have entertained really. And The Dark Knight did that kind of like you really like Batman and it was good acting and good story. It wasn't written to be entertaining. It was just written to be good. I think this one, especially with the Flash and with Jason Momoa's Aquaman having obviously a sense of humor and maybe knowing, people can make fun of me, but I'm still the shiz, Sorry?
At what point in the trailer did he have a sense of humor?
Well, not in this one specifically. He made a couple
when he's like, "Oh, where'd these guys go?" and then he kind of zips off. He kind of flashes
he
it.
made fun of Batman.
Oh, that was Flash.
Yeah,
Flash had the sense of humor.
Yes,
he was pretty much like a Spider-Man. It's what I got from his character was very much the new Spider-Man. Yeah, young guy excited to be there. Yeah. Seemed like the same kind of character archetype written right there, sort of just lifted directly from Avengers Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that totally gives me hope for this one.
Civil War.
With a less charismatic actor. Sure. So I don't think I will probably be first in line to see this movie, anyways. But I know you will be. But let's move on. We've spent enough time on this.
Okay, all right.
This particular trailer.
The X-Men spin-off of The Gifted. I believe we talked about this one before, and I checked this one out. You don't like? You're not a fan?
Oh, it's so yawn.
All right. Well, to anyone who's unfamiliar, The Gifted is the story of, I guess, some B and C tier X-Men characters. People that were members of X-Force. People that were members of X-Factor. Characters like Polaris. Who the hell, besides like, hardcore X-Men fan. These are folks that worked on teams with Strong Guy and Havoc
Strong guy.
Strong guy. Strong guy's okay.
Out of name guy.
Nah,
Out of ideas, man.
Strong guy is if like Judge Doom was a good guy and was really, really loaded on HGH.
Yeah.
You know. But I like it. It's the story. It's a story in the X-Men universe that's not centered around the same emo BS and not forcing in Hugh Jackman for no reason. You know, I mean, I like
most
Hugh
movies
Jackman.
could be better serviced with like trying to hammer in a little Hugh Jackman.
To be fair, before Dwayne Johnson took the title, he was like franchise Viagra.
Yeah.
You know, the X-Men franchise wouldn't have survived without Hugh Jackman. They knew it. That's why they forced him into every movie.
Is it funny because now, like, I really did feel he was franchise bag. We were talking about The Rock, and now his movies I think suck.
What?
But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Didn't like, and suddenly
That's not true. He had more than that.
Well, you didn't like. I know you didn't like
San
Baywatch, but you didn't like
San Andreas.
Okay, you know, you're right. I forgot about San Andreas, but that's 2 movies.
Everyone forgot about San Andreas. I didn't like Hercules. That was hot garbage.
Hercules was funny.
That was not funny. And if anything was funny, and he had nothing to do with it, I can assure you that.
His movie career is essentially right now in the Arnold in kindergarten cop category. That's sort of where his
I don't know, because
he needs to have more boobs and kill people in his movies, like actually like kill them. So like the Arnold phase when he was using people as human shields, that's the phase he needs to go back.
The Total Recall phase.
The Total Recall phase. He needs his recall phase.
All right, I think
start working with directors that are actually
talented.
talented.
And not the Scorpion King phase.
Right.
Well, I think The Rock's actually escaped that with Pain and Gain, because before that he was doing like the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I think it's the Fast and Furious franchise that saved both him and Vin Diesel.
Kind of, but he's still going back to a lot of the kiddie.
Because he's having fun. I've noticed this. He's at that point now where he makes the Hollywood money. You put Dwayne Johnson on any marquee, people will see it. Yeah. It's the Jason Momoa effect.
Unless it's Baywatch, because no one saw that.
Well, I saw Baywatch. I like
Baywatch. Nobody else did, though.
I liked it despite acknowledging it's not a good movie. True. We're getting off the point here.
Sorry, The Rock. That was a little tangent. I'm yelling at The Rock.
If you're a Marvel fan, I think you should definitely check it out. Mostly because it's Marvel appearing to take a chance. I think they've gotten comfortable enough with the success of the Avengers movies.
Yeah. I mean, it's Fox.
Well,
it's a Fox-produced TV show.
It's Marvel characters and Marvel Universe stuff, not MCU, not Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right. But it's still side stories of these characters. Where they did falter with Legion, they've had enough success with Luke Cage, with Jessica Jones, with Daredevil. You know, those we don't talk about.
Yeah, those 3 are awesome.
Yeah. So that's given them enough clout, I think, to try more stuff with, the more background characters and see where you can go with it. Not everything has to be the major Captain America blockbuster.
I think this was Marvel giving Fox a bone because they got Spider-Man back. And this is one of those bones.
Here, take this crap property no one really wants. They got the big fish.
They handed the Spider-Man franchise for video gaming. They gave that to Sony. Sony's producing. That's first party Sony. That's not coming out on an Xbox or PC or anything like that. So that's one part of the deal.
I'm about the game where he had like the white on his chest.
Yep, that game. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are excited for it. It looks really good. There's a Spider-Man game that they're making for PS4. And I think this is probably one of the other pieces to that deal in order for Marvel to get back Spider-Man on the MCU. That's what it costs
to get the Tom Holland integration into Avengers, and then that Spider-Man movie was actually good.
Yeah.
You know what? Marvel did it.
I'll give it to them. I'm still excited for this because if they can do that with a property that's been so deeply tainted by Fox.
But it's back to Fox, though.
Yeah, but this now gives them something to basically they know now. Look, okay, you screwed up. And it's not the material's fault; it's yours. So step it up, and this might be the kick in the pants they need.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going this one with this is Saved by the Bell with X-Men.
Yeah, I'm just tired of gifted children. Tired of all the gifted children finding all this. I want some gifted old men.
You want to call them?
I want like the gifted old men phase of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
They did that in the comics, and it bombed so terribly. Yeah,
maybe it's just me.
In Young Justice years ago.
I'm past 30 now. I want some old men doing stuff to find like some fountain of youth and just beat people up. I want some of that.
They may do it in one of the cartoon series. They were talking about bringing back the Young Justice.
Like Alan Arkin as a superhero.
So you want Unbreakable too?
Yeah.
What?
Sure.
No, that's what it sounds like he wants.
He wants Red. He wants Red 3.
No. Or
you want
Yeah, I'll take some of that.
Young Justice had a storyline where these old retired heroes came in and said, "We don't like the way you're doing things. We're coming to take over." And it basically was Young Justice versus dig this Old Justice.
Old Justice. You remember that movie back in the day, the old blaxploitation movie? What was it called? Is it Original Gangsters?
I remember that.
You remember that?
That was Quentin Tarantino promoted the hell out of that so much.
It was one of the main reasons, though, right?
No, Original Gangsters was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino was a fan. He's one of the reasons it got made in the first place.
Yeah.
That brought back the old original Gangsters.
Fred Williamson and all those guys.
Pam
yeah.
Greer's still looking
great. And it was good.
Just,
she's like, this is how we used to do it in the old day, and like hitting him in the back in the nuts and stuff. Like, I'm like, that is something I love. Richard Roundtree. They were all in that movie. That was like a roundup of all those guys. That was like.
I got so fat.
Yeah. See, that was the Expendables. Before the Expendables, you know what I mean? It was like the Black Expendables.
I'll give you that. The thing that ruined Original Gangsters for me, though, however, do you remember the Jamie Foxx show?
Yeah.
Okay, you had Chris B. Duncan, the ultimate the dude who talks like this. No, this stuff very proper, very prim. Was the hardcore gangster antagonist in Original Gangsters? That's what ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Dude there with
I guess
like,
I saw that one before,
DJ
so I didn't do the connection afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that.
I'm gonna watch it again. Like
Johnny's over there, like what the hell?
That guy talked like Dave Chappelle as the white guy. You know? It's like when Dave Chappelle did Whiteface, that was that guy from the Jamie Foxx show.
It's too much.
Anyways.
Let me move on before I make a Frasier reference. Okay, so Marvel's Defenders. Well, just staying on the Marvel tip real quick here.
Ooh.
Marvel's Defenders. This is the project we've been waiting for that brings Luke Cage, Jessica Jones,
and unfortunately the Iron Fist.
Very unfortunately.
And also possibly the Punisher. Yeah. I remember they were teasing the Punisher in these Comic-Con trailers. And I don't remember ever seeing him. Do you?
He wasn't in that trailer.
Okay, yeah. They said he was. They said he would be, and he wasn't. But I know he's a part of that universe.
Yeah,
so I want to see him.
I mean, he came out of the Daredevil season 2, so he's definitely in that. And I know one of the character, his like one of the
Shane with more guns.
One of the girls that in Daredevil, she's no.
You mean Rosario Dawson's character?
No. She's in all of them. Sorry,
Rosario Dawson's character. She's in all of them.
She's in all of them, but I'm talking about there's the one that works for him.
Yeah, Missy, the chick with the fro.
I don't know.
Oh,
anyway,
no, the assistant.
Yes, the assistant. Yeah, the one he saves at the beginning. Assistant. She's in the new Punisher. She's going to be a major character in it.
Wait. The only lawyer assistant I can think of now is, Trinity from Jessica Jones.
No.
She was the lawyer there.
No, the one from Daredevil, the one he kisses, you know what I mean?
Anyways,
yeah.
Well, we'll have to. You'll have to show me a picture because I'm drawing a blank right now. I thought you were talking about Rosario.
She wasn't that captivating, but yeah.
All series and Missy Knight, who does interject in a couple. But Marvel's Defenders, dude. Okay, that right there, that exchange we had is because we've seen all these shows individually.
Yeah, and they've gotten slightly worse as time goes on. I think Daredevil started out great. I think Jessica Jones and then Daredevil, then all that stuff. I thought that was great. I think it just started losing steam, especially towards Iron Fist, when it was just like, this is really not.
Well, I think Iron Fist is their one miss.
That was a huge miss.
You're right.
The rest have been pretty good.
Luke Cage had an issue where they killed probably one of the best bad guys that they had, right?
They did, right in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle. It was like a huge mistake. And then they introduced like kind of a joke of a bad
subpar
guy.
They definitely killed the best character and then made a worse one. I did not get that movie, right?
I like that they did that, though. That shows me at the very least that the show's not afraid to take chances, and the show's not afraid
They didn't know he was going to win an Oscar in a few months, is exactly what happened. I guarantee that. So they're like, oh my God, that guy won an Oscar. They saw him that night. They're like, what the
Well, keep in mind, though, it's comics, so because they did that, maybe he somehow comes back from the dead. No one stays dead in comics.
They should, because he was awesome.
They should, but I mean, it seems like that was only limited to like metahumans, to superhero characters, to mutants. Yet then suddenly, like Elektra's come back from the dead.
I just picture them watching Moonlight and going like, God damn, what did we do? Jesus, this is good.
And then Jessica Jones had an issue where it went on too long. They padded the hell out of that series.
Yeah, that one did. I did notice that. That's true. Yeah. They also made.
But they had Doctor Who as a bad guy.
They need to have.
Dude, I loved him so much, and then
he was perfect.
To do the Defenders right, they need to kill off the Iron Fist character on like episode 1 or 2. They need to do the writing and the choreography in Daredevil. and sort of
Yes.
center most of that in there, and share the screen with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Daredevil. Make sure that all three characters have all their moments to shine, but use the writers of Daredevil.
It has to be the Daredevil style.
Yeah.
That has to be.
All right.
That's what made the whole thing work. I'm with you there.
All right, well, here's what's going to go down.
And the bad guy from
but they can't
Luke
kill
Cage.
off Iron
That
Fist because they
quality.
just.
Okay.
That's coming out with a new season as well.
Well, Diamondback. They're not gonna. Okay, here's what's going to happen. They're not going to do that because Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, Daredevil are still like huge sellers.
Yep.
And with the teasing of the Punisher, of possible Punisher appearance at least, like they are golden. Even with Iron Fist in the mix, they'll make him the tech guy. Okay, he'll stay in the van. But what they can do, and this might make you happy, is in the comics there's the Defenders, those guys, and when they're too tied up, there's the Secret Defenders. Now, because Doctor Strange had a good movie, and had a good movie showing.
Sure.
And Deadpool, through the sheer force of will of Ryan Reynolds, not only had a good movie, but is getting a sequel.
Yeah.
The Secret Defenders, made up of Doctor Strange and Deadpool, Namor, and I forget who the other one is. Made up the Secret Defenders.
Man, Doctor
They
Strange
might
is bad.
do an offshoot, and you may get your Dream Defenders team sans Iron Fist in cinematic form, or at the very least in like a Netflix type movie form, because those characters exist now in the cinematic universe, and they've proven that they can sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Marvel's Defenders, I think I'm the only one jazzed for it. But then again,
I'm definitely there.
I'm just sat here and said how much.
I just said it got worse. I didn't say I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm just stating the facts of what they've already put out. I didn't mean I'm not excited about new stuff. I've obviously watched every single series.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm not a little bit apprehensive thinking.
So
it's
Adam
gonna be
Willis said
perfect,
he's
but...
now looking forward to Iron Fist on screen. I have no idea.
The success of the first three was mainly on their focus on having a really good bad guy on all three of them, except for Luke Cage when they killed off the bad guy. But other than that, all three of them had fantastic bad guys, and that's what really drove the whole thing. Just having a really good villain. So they need to do that. They need to have a really good villain for this in order for it to work.
All right. No, I agree. I think though that them killing off Cottonmouth and then introducing Diamondback wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because it's rare because Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, they're part of Heroes for Hire. Same thing with Iron Fist, but those characters exist in that universe as Heroes for Hire. They introduced Misty Knight, and I forget the other woman, but they took over for Luke Cage and Iron Fist once they left Heroes for Hire for other things. Basically, all these characters are there and exist in the form that they do in the comics, where they take on villains, like a villain of the week type thing. So they're not limited to just the villains from those shows.
Next week, see the Iron Fist take on Fox Mulder from the X-Files.
No, look at it this way, like, dude, one day it's like those cats versus the Juggernaut makes an appearance.
That'd be cool.
For like three episodes and things, and then you're not limited to them. So Juggernaut fades away, but now Scorpion and freaking Sandman are tearing up downtown, New York. They don't have to be major villains. They're not like they don't have to be made hot stuff like they were in the Fox movies. But they can exist in this world, and they can deal with these characters, and they can change it up. We finally get that anthology show that everyone's like, it's comics, do this. You've got literally hundreds of characters, thousands of characters to work with, and you all just like nickel and dime these chosen few. This could be the vehicle, I'm hoping. I know it's a far reach, but this is the one that finally makes it possible.
Yeah. I guess there's also one slight concern that because we're getting this, we're not getting a season 3.
It's okay.
We're not getting a season 3 of Daredevil. We're not getting a season 2 of Jessica Jones. We're not getting a season 2 of Luke.
I'm okay with that. If
Those
they do, if the show's good, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would feel they'd be forcing it if they did that for each one.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
All right. Well,
what else we got? We got Thor Ragnarok too.
We have Thor. Yeah. Okay. We'll close out with Marvel with this, because I do want to talk about Star Trek Discovery at least briefly.
Yeah, you have to, because that's your bread and butter, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say anything. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything about it.
All right, fine. You know what? Maybe I'll save that until Mix Macabre is back on the show.
I'm ready to talk about
it.
I hate Star Trek.
What?
See?
I hate Star Trek. And
I brought you on this show
hold on.
in good faith.
This trailer.
You want dismissed?
The trailer made me do a 360.
Right. Okay.
180. Sorry, 180, not a 360.
Okay. It's like, you know what? I still hate it, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. Explain.
I can break these cuffs.
It looked
Sorry.
It looked amazing. It looked like Mass Effect, the TV
Adam,
series.
don't encourage this.
That's what it looked like. Mass Effect, the TV series.
Yeah, dude,
It looked amazing.
I'm loving that.
Yeah.
It's Star Trek, but it's another evolution. Like Star
Evolution
Trek
out of
Enterprise, everyone
geek.
thought had promise because that's what they thought it was going to be, you know. And it was a letdown because they mired it in a lot of politics and BS from before the first series that existed, partially in the novelizations, partially in, you know, pretty much like the minds of the lunatics that were paid to make this mess. And I think this one is finally the studio is paying attention to what's been working in sci-fi, and still giving credence to the evolution, if you will, of Starfleet and the Star Trek universe the fans have wanted to see for a long time. And with, I guess, the popularity of the Christopher Pine movies, you know, made by
I saw the most recent one.
Yeah, this reintroduced Star Trek to a new generation that's not only familiar with it as that thing those nerds like.
That boring thing that those nerds like.
No. There's different. There's several different Star Trek shows and different types of shows.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah.
It's like you see one, it's like it's boring. That automatically becomes your interpretation of Star Trek. Sure.
I've seen multiple episodes
like,
from multiple different.
Consider it this way. It's like if you're not a fan of Metallica, but you like.
How is that a thing?
Okay, listen.
Sorry.
if you like hardcore pure metal, and you only heard Metallica, Saint Anger. You know, to you, that's just Metallica.
That's actually.
You have no idea. Like Ride the Lightning was like, you know, pure raw metal.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's a really good analogy.
Yeah. That's actually a really apt analogy, Pat.
Yeah, I'm good for one every 10
every 12 episodes.
12. Yeah,
it's been 3 months. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so that's the interpretation of Star Trek for most people. So it's like they saw one, they didn't like it, they had no idea that it's really like, you know, 7 or 8 different types of shows.
Right, but this trailer portrays something that's far different from anything that I've seen Star Trek do.
This is a departure.
It was emotional. Mm-hmm. Like the characters actually had like emotional reactions to things, and they were actually like very animate, and circumstances looked dire. It looked like Mass Effect.
Explode and people die, and most of the time there's like, just another day at the office. No, I'm not in shock or anything.
Well, it's military,
right?
You know, you join the military, people die, and you're.
It doesn't mean you have to be so cold to it. Like, it's just like, I signed up for the military. Someone's dead in front of me. No problem. I'm in the military.
It's very inhuman not to at least feel something.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's...
Well, okay. No, that's a good reaction, though, Johnny. You're someone who's not a fan, so you're not tied to nostalgia.
No, not at all.
I myself am a big Star Trek fan, so my interpretation might be accused of such things when I say, dude, I love it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. And I love sci-fi, and I don't like Star Trek, but this... I am going to watch. At least I'm definitely going to give it a fair shake. Mm-hmm. If it turns into the stuff of Star Trek that I don't like, then I'll probably turn it off. But right now, I'm in. I am in.
Well, that seems like an easy thing. If it's good, I'll watch it. If it's bad, I'm going to turn that shit off.
You know what he means. Though,
I do. I'm exactly with him.
Yeah, a legit effort has to be made.
I'm surprised you like so many of these, because my experience with people that are like their tastes deeply soaked in a lot of nostalgia, usually more resentful towards new projects.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, but I'm looking towards the future.
I'm saying it's a good thing.
Because
I'm glad you like it, because I know how it is important to you. I'm glad there's something out there
like
that keeps you interested.
You don't care about any of this stuff, man.
It doesn't mean I don't. I wish you well with it, man. I really hope you do enjoy it. I'm saying I probably won't, but good on you, dude.
Okay, pause right there. Let's get to the last one real quick, and then we'll jump into the reviews because we're running a little long. Yeah. You're gonna tell me you didn't like that Thor Ragnarok?
I didn't like Thor at all, but I like this trailer a lot, and this movie looks actually good.
Okay, then does this movie make you
This makes me want to see it, yeah.
Okay, you're optimistic.
That's the best as I can do, yeah, because it has Bruce Banner in it a lot, and that's what I really want to see, because Thor by himself is kind of boring. Even him like rounding up his old fogies to go play war and stuff like that, that's boring. I don't think there's a lot of like character in those characters. So having his like good buddy, it's like a buddy movie kind of seemed like with the Hulk. I thought that was the best way to do it, to kind of make it more interesting, to make it more fun, and that's exactly what I got out of that. And plus, it has what's his name in it? Who's the actor?
Which one?
What did he play? From Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum.
Goldblum. Oh, okay, yes, Jeff Goldblum.
How are you not going to watch this movie? You know what I mean?
Man,
Like
I'm
a buddy
He had a
movie
shirt
with
on, though.
Thor and the Hulk,
Wait,
and then
want
you got Jeff
with his shirt
Goldblum.
off?
I want him with a shirt off. That's
You're
the
with a
only
shirt
way.
off, guy.
That's the only way he has to
In
be portrayed.
2017, you want saggy, septuagenarian.
No, man, it does
Jeff
have to be
Goldblum.
saggy. They could CG his
What do you mean?
his
No,
chest
I
hair
don't
and all
think
that.
he's 70, but
Yeah.
he's older. This isn't. This
Just
isn't,
need the mug, CG everything else.
You want to see Dr. Ian Malcolm laid out all, suave, open leather jacket.
Yeah.
Like in Jurassic Park.
No, I'm not saying I want that. I'm saying that's the only way he should be portrayed.
Oh,
That's good. Yeah.
all right. Well, Jeff Goldblum is in this movie as the Games Master. Mark Ruffalo reappears as the Hulk, who we haven't seen in a little while, and Chris Hemsworth
Cuts his
comes
hair.
back. Yeah, I'm liking the look too.
Like a more like
He had the long hair.
he had
like a
long hair.
more-
Then
This
it
is-
switched.
This is the more
They
the more
cut it.
gritty, bearded.
It's a more GQ Thor, for sure.
Maybe this is the more grizzled, like handsome old man type thing they're going for, because he's still got to be like a pretty boy kind of. They got to still get the ladies in the seats here.
Yeah,
I say the ladies. That sounds very sexist. I know several gay men who are all over this cat.
that makes it sound better.
But no, what I'm getting at is it's got that appeal. And I will say this to you: it's not meant to change your opinion or anything. All I'll say is I've never found the MCU Thor boring, because from reading the comics and the cartoons, I've seen Thor be a lot more boring.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's not. Yeah.
compared
really.
to those, and
He's
that,
not boring
that-
here, but he's
that-
more
that-
boring
that
somewhere else.
Shakespearean speech and the script and all that, and the weirdo space colors and stuff. If you're sober,
That is very
it
faint
is
praise. though.
dull as
Well,
dirt.
They
That
actually
is very faint.
they
praise.
have some of that space color stuff in the opening and closing to
In the
this.
movies,
Yeah,
and the trailer.
in this trailer, yeah.
And that I liked.
And the city itself, it was very vibrant. It looks really good. The CG work and the artwork in there, it looks really good. I'm with Adam. Thor, not that interesting of a character. Hulk, not that interesting character. Them two together, very interesting
should be good.
interaction. That's
Yeah.
actually
I'm excited
that
by
looks
that
fun.
too. It looks like a more fun take. Like they're doing something interesting with these characters that will entertain the audiences more than just trying to get them interested in the stories. Because to be honest, the Hulk stories always depressed me.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like he can never go anywhere. He can never have any friends, never have any family, never find love, never find happiness, because the second
kind of giving him a
he
friend
stubs
is
his
really
toe,
cool that you
everyone's
can't kill.
dead.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
It's like you're giving him this god that he can just throw through a wall and he's not gonna die. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. You know what I mean? And
Good banter in the trailer too. It looks like a fun story. Well, not a fun story. They're talking about the destruction and death of everybody
of
like an
a
Asgard.
planet
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Other than the team up, the setup of the story just looks like, oh, I've seen that done before. It's
1,000
the,
times. That's
the
the-
assembly of a
that's
team.
the
There's this bad
go-to.
guy. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you too.
We need
Does
to
it look like
assemble
We're taking over this planet. You're dead.
it
Yeah.
looks like they're trying to
Damn
make
it.
Loki
Again.
an anti-hero badass? Did anyone else get that?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't enough Loki.
Okay, you want to see more Loki?
There's low key,
Well,
Loki.
Loki.
All they did was it looked like just a tease of Loki without indicating what his importance is going to be in the story.
Mhm.
And you can't just show Loki and just be like,
Oh, they gave him
That's
gas, man. This dude,
Yeah.
he had like that Asgardian
This plasma gas. Like,
yeah.
that was silly. They
Alright.
don't need guns.
They
should
don't
have
need
them,
guns,
though.
but-
They don't need guns.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they stripped him of his powers now. He's
That's how
gonna
I
be-
felt when they gave Van Damme a gun in like Hard Target. I was like, dude, he can just kick
Well,
those guys in the
that's
face. Then he
overkill.
started
That's
shooting
like
everybody. I was
giving
like,
a-
Hard Target.
That's like
is
giving
really
a
good.
tiger a chainsaw.
I know, but I had a
You know,
problem with it at
on
first. I was
wheels.
like, he doesn't need guns. And I was like, he's kind of cool with guns. I
He's
guess.
always packing too.
He's
Yeah.
always, oh,
And
take it easy.
anytime, whenever he's ready, he can spin kick a Bowie knife into someone's chest.
Yeah,
That's
how did
how
he
he
blow
gets
that
down.
guy up at the end of Hard Target? He drops a grenade in his pants and headbutts him, and then he blows up. Like that's the greatest death ever. Oh, it's so
certain-
perfect.
certain
Those movies
scenes.
are like that was John Woo's first in America, right? He brought him over.
Let's see John Woo take on.
John Woo's Thor Ragnarok. That's something I should see. Just
No,
dubs.
Well, the last one was Thor Ragnarok, dude. I'm excited for it. It sounds like you guys are at least willing to give it a chance, despite not liking Thor.
I mean, like I said, I don't. It's not I dislike him. He's just those are the weakest movies of the individual Marvel movies. But anyways, yeah, we've spent enough
you
time
hope.
on this.
When it hits
stuff.
Netflix.
Yeah. If anyone has anything to say on these, or you want to jump in, we're on Twitch now. Hit us up on the chat, or shoot us an email at geekdownradio@gmail.com and let us know what you think. All right, now, dude, I got to read a comic called Shaolin Cowboy.
Sounds
a little
kind of
wild, a
interesting.
little strange. No, no, Shaolin
Is that a
Cowboy.
Hey
This is
Dude
that was a
intro?
yeah. I don't have many cowboy references. Dude, so I had to, yippee.
You do that voice so
I
good.
love it.
Anyways,
I'm a child.
yeah, that's good.
It's Shaolin Cowboy. It's a book. Oh, excuse me. It's the return of the Shaolin Cowboy. This one's called Who'll Stop the Rain? Rain spelled REGIN. If anyone wants to check it out, I actually do recommend this. It's
Blame
an
it
interesting
on the
book.
rain.
This is the return of the Shaolin Cowboy because this is actually an older comic. Not older. We're talking older from like 2002. You know.
Uh-huh.
But this is a book that was independently released several years ago. It's been recently picked up by Dark Horse Comics, and this isn't a re-release. This is actually a new story with the characters. And the best way I can describe this is if Mike Judge tried to write if Frank Miller tried to write Big Trouble in Little China. I got it.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, if Mike Judge tried to write a really long episode of Kung Fu,
which would be actually fascinating. Those are two great mashups right there.
Well, it's very weird, man. The dialogue is very like early Beavis and Butthead style. You know, all these characters have insights for no reason,
just
and
simple
then
and like
dumbest,
pointing
weirdest.
to the idiocy of everyone. Yeah.
Exactly, and you can definitely
because it actually talks like people talk.
It
just
talks
dumb.
like exaggerated versions of how people talk. Like everyone's talking about their iPhone. I spelled like pirate. Or their I'm hung 7 phone. You know, weird stuff like that. You know, there's sentient animals. There's like a whole Animal Farm vibe going on there. And I wanted to say there was no allegories to Stalin, so it wasn't directly in that vein. But the story is quirky, and the whole thing is you think it's going to be stories about this badass Shaolin monk cowboy who does stuff. And no, he's literally that. He's a Shaolin cowboy. And he's got these skills. He's very
in the most literal sense of the word, huh?
Literal sense of the word. He's a
lives
cowboy.
in Shaolin and he works at a music
He travels middle America, but I mean, dude, he does karate. He knows like these mystical arts and he uses them occasionally. He doesn't say much. And most of the books, it's a 4-issue a limited run and will possibly be picked up afterwards. I have no actual word on that just yet. But more of the story comes from the people / animals that he interacts with. There's underground communities of like dogs who talk to each other and pigs and crabs and things. The enemies are people that are being controlled like parasites by like crabs and it's weird, man.
That's really weird. Yeah.
Like that's the whole Frank Miller Big Trouble in Little China thing because it's peculiar.
All of a sudden, like weird things start talking and getting bigger and
The Animal Farm thing was kind of cool too. I mentioned that specifically because there's one storyline where one part of this book, and it's not a spoiler, it's just a quirky facet of the story where the pig's describing its past, and here's where I came from, and I was raised under a kingdom by this great king who, when we came of age, would send us off to another part of the land where we would fulfill our destiny and become, heroes or doctors or actors, sports stars, etc. And when he finds out that when they become of age, they are just sent wherever else in the back of a truck, and then he visits this land one day and it's actually a butcher shop. He's a pig. It's like
it's so good.
It's stuff like that just being realized by the antagonist, and this is their motivation. It's kind of cool. There's like there's like nuns with like breasts out to here. It's whacked out stuff. I actually recommend this, dude, because it was freaking entertaining.
It sounds trippy.
Yeah, it's out there, and I expected none of this. I expected like a kind of like a straight kung fu story. He just happens to be a cowboy who studied with
kind of like Afro samurai type.
Yeah, he's on like this noble mission, and it's gonna be serious, but it's gonna be like Battle Pope, where this is just his weird take on all of this.
I like the Big Trouble in Little China reference there.
Yeah,
because that sounds pretty much it.
It was out there, dude. But you know what? As far as indie comics go, I wish more of them were like this.
It's weird, real kind of.
Well, not necessarily
out of
weird
the
per
left
se,
field.
but unique. This is a book that really took chances, and the fact that it started off as an independent title, you can really see that effect. Where this is definitely a story that was created without the influence of any focus groups. We need to sell this to audiences. It needs to be safe for kids. or it needs to have
Yeah,
an
so
appeal
they
so we
didn't
can
have
market toys.
any regard for anyone.
Yeah, this is just this dude wanted to tell the story. He told the story and then told it again once he got a little more money, and then it was picked up by Dark Horse, and now they're letting him tell the continuation of this story. It's called Shaolin Cowboy. Remember that, Shaolin Cowboy. This latest take, just out now. Finished the 4-issue run. All 4 issues are available on like Comixology or your local comic shop. Check it out. Shaolin Cowboy, Who'll Stop the Rain.
So it's interesting as a book, not just because you haven't seen anything like it before. It actually stands on its own, though.
Definitely. The artwork is going back to Frank Miller. The artwork is very disjointed. Has some takes that are realistic, has some takes that aren't.
That's
but
my
I think
problem
it's
with
a little
Frank
bit
Miller
of
stuff. I can't. It's
so
a little
so many
too
creases and faces.
Yeah.
All right, if you want to check this book out or want to talk to us about it, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com or hit us up on the Twitch channel, which I forgot to give the URLs. It's twitch.tv/thegeekdown. If you didn't check out our social media, that's where you can actually see us. Okay, so, dude, Johnny, you've been crazy
Oh yeah.
about Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
And I don't know what compelled me, what possessed me to actually get
You didn't bring this with you today?
For this mess.
No, I didn't bring it with me.
We'd like to actually be focused on the show instead of playing while we're broadcasting. But no, okay, also give us the lowdown on the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC.
Yeah, so Zelda, Nintendo announced a month ahead of time or a couple weeks ahead of time, they're coming out with DLC. It's basically just one set of DLC. You can't buy it compartmentalized, so you can't buy one piece versus another piece. So it's one big chunk, but they split it into 2 different pieces. So this is the first half of that DLC, and the second half comes out at the end of the year. This half comes with a bunch of extra sort of pieces of armor and outfits that you can wear. Some of them have fairly big changes to their own set of like little gameplay mechanic changes. One of which is like this mask that you can wear that can help you find these little Koroks that are speckled about the world, which is super, super useful. But the main stars of the show for this DLC is the hard mode, which is the Master Trials or Master Mode. I think it's called Master Mode. And
the Master Mold?
The Master Mode. And the other bit, which is the one that most people tried out, because I'm going to say this. Master Mode is no joke. It's hard. And I played through just about all of the game in Master Mode. So not only did I beat the game, when this DLC came out, it caused me, I wasn't expecting this, but I ended up beating the game again, almost beating it again.
With a raging boner. Yes,
on this hard mode, which is Master Mode. And they do some interesting things that forces you to play differently.
To master mode.
They do some very key changes. The big one is that enemies regenerate health. Not only are enemies harder in the Master Mode, but they regenerate health. Because they regenerate health, the cheesy tactics you could do when you first play through Breath of the Wild, you can no longer do. You can no longer sit by and just volley a bunch of arrows into the enemy and be okay with it. Eventually, they're going to, if you don't hit them after a certain period of time, they will eventually start regenning their health. So you have to be very active on going at them. They also change up some of the enemy positions, and they add in like these floating platforms that have treasure, so it gives you incentive, but it's really hard to reach, and there's hard enemies on those floating platforms. So, bunch of cool changes. The other part,
hardcore modes aren't really anything new. Like this is first of all, how much time did you spend mastering your mode?
Oh, I probably dumped like 30 hours or more.
Okay, so it's legit. It's not just like a quick 5-hour,
you get a paycheck at the end of that.
Well, you're basically playing the whole game again, but in a different way because of these changes.
And it was still fun, even though you're doing the same stuff.
Well, when you're playing one of the best games of all time,
here it comes.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun if you're playing it again with no changes at all.
That's what makes
the
greatest game.
One of the greatest, yeah,
of all time.
The other part of the DLC, which is more available for everyone, is you go through these sets of trials, and it's like there's this one part of the game where they take away all your gear and all your weapons.
Oh, what the hell?
They strip you down to just your boxers, and they have you sort of survive on this island, this little tropical island.
Yeah.
You know, trying to figure out how to salvage whatever food you can, fight the enemies that are on there, take their weapons, and sort of build up in order to solve that. they basically took that mechanic and put it into this big, elaborate combat/puzzle-based set of trials. And you go through these trials with nothing, and you have to sort of work with what they are giving you.
BS is this?
You have to work with what they give you, weapons, and you have to be very concise with your use of resources because you have very limited ways to heal yourself, and you have very limited weapons to sort of use as you're going through it. So it's really hard, and playing it on Master Mode is ridiculous. I haven't beat it yet because Master Mode is that hard. But as you go through, it's really good. It's definitely worth the first half. If it were sort of, if you divide the price of the DLC, $20 for the whole thing. If this was just $10, it would be worth it for that $10 just from what's in there. But it's not going to be like some of the best DLC I've ever played in a game, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. The next half hasn't come out yet, and that will potentially be really good. Don't know yet.
All right. Then I mean,
it could suck.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt on this one because I know how much you've been salivating over this game since day one. I will say though that from what it sounds, from the sound of it, this Master Mode is equivalent to hardcore mode and some other games. And my only experience with it has been in games, Fallout games specifically, but RPG style games.
New Vegas, yeah.
Oh, I hate there. Okay, there's a DLC there where it's the there's a DLC where there's one where you're taken to this other land and they remove all the hard-earned upgrades, weapons, armor, health bonuses, buffs, anything that you've earned throughout God knows how much time in this game, and then start you back at square one with absolutely nothing. And
see,
like I've paid my dues, you know. Let me enjoy. Let me at least use the stuff I've acquired to survive.
Okay. So it's not like it's more easy to jump in, right? Mm-hmm. And if you die, you're bumped out of the trials, and you have to start all over again. So it's easy to go in, go out, and you can go. They do have checkpoints in there, but you have to reach the checkpoint. Once you hit the checkpoint, boom, you're done with that chunk of levels, and then you can proceed to the next set of chunk. And that each chunk is the challenge. But the part of losing your belongings, what you aren't losing is you aren't losing progress like how many hearts you have. So you're not losing that. You're not losing your sort of rune power-ups. You take that with you. But when it comes to gear, armor, and sort of resources like food and whatnot, you do lose that. But you're gaining it as you go. And that is part of the challenge. And I know Fallout did it in their way, but the way they did it in the Zelda game, it's fun. It's really, really fun. It was fun during that little island, Eventide Island, and it's even more fun through these trials.
Okay, so I'll take your word for it. So I'm guessing thumbs up.
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
All right.
For the greatest game of all time?
Yeah, the greatest game of all time.
Potentially.
Potentially.
All right. Just trying to give it the thumbs up is the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC available now. Part 1 available now.
Yep.
Waiting for Zelda Breath of the Intoxicated.
Zelda Breathalyzer. All right. If you have anything to say about that, check us out on twitch.tv/thegeekdown. Dude, I want to see someone debate you on. All right. So I'm going to kick it over to Black Adam Willis. Or Okja.
Okja.
I finally said it right?
I'm sure.
All right,
That's how I've been pronouncing it, so I don't know if I'm right. But this is a movie that is on Netflix now. It came out a few weeks ago. They bought the rights for it. I know it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in France earlier this year, and everyone was kind of talking about it then. It's just from Bong Joon-ho, who did Snowpiercer.
Okay.
He also did the movie Mother. He also did Memories of Murder. And what else? The other one is a big one, The Host, which is that monster movie.
Yeah.
Which is really, really great.
There's a scene, at least one scene of like them mutilating an animal.
This is exactly what this movie is about, more or less. This movie is kind of it's this lovable take on like kind of these character. It's Okja is the name of this pig, and it's raised for 10 years by this young South Korean woman in Korea.
And makes a friend with a spider who writes things in her web.
Yeah, so it's these.
Oh, that was funny.
It was. there's these genetically modified pigs that they're making, and that they found, and they have 10 of them, and they put them at 10 different farms across the globe, and they raise them for 10 years, and then they're going to crown who's the best pig. And then they're going to do this big thing for this corporation called the Miranda Corporation. And then they're going to slaughter all these pigs, and that's going to be food, essentially. And
win a contest, and they still just go to the slaughterhouse.
Right. But basically, they're selling the world on this new type of food, this new thing that's going to leave a small footprint on the environment. And they're like good-looking pets, and they're also very tasty. It's this weird thing. It's like, oh, love these animals, but also we're slaughtering them at mass numbers, and it's pretty horrific the conditions we're doing it in.
You might be the only one that misses Dilbert, where there was one episode where they found a way to grow meat, to grow beef.
See, that's the dream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the reality is, there's all these people, and they don't care what they eat as long as it's cheap. And there's a certain way to do it, and there's these ruthless people at the large food industrial complex that are just operating on dollar bills. All
now, correct me. This movie was not made by Michael Moore.
No.
Okay.
See, it sounds pretty awful. Like some of the conditions towards the end of the movie, you started seeing a little horrific. But the movie is mostly about this little girl who's lived with this thing, her pet Okja, this pig, for 10 years on this giant, mountainside farm that she has in South Korea. And so we first see her with this pig, now full grown, standing there in the water playing with each other, and they're best friends. That's like all she knows. Her and this pig are like together, and basically that pig was named the best pig of the 10 that were grown, and they take her away to New York, and she follows it to New York to get her pig back. Because she knows that's her best friend, and she wasn't.
Okja,
she was
big city.
That's what it is. And on the way there, we see Jake Gyllenhaal's character as the guy is supposed to be like the head, food guy that with all these pets. Tilda Swinton is the head of the Miranda Corporation.
Why is she always in this dude's movies?
Because she's good. He wants the best. And then there's also Paul Dano, who plays the head of an animal rights organization that's also working to steal Okja back. And
where do I know him from? I know that name. Paul Dano. Was he on a TV show?
No, he was in that movie about the Beach Boys guy. He was in, who Paul Dano is. I'm going to show you a picture
I'll
now.
find it after the show.
Anyway, he's in this, and he's great. Yeah, a lot of the acting is very, very, very good, and just incorporating this pig, and this is like really the best part about it. This animated pig into the middle of this, it looks so seamless in this story, and it's like so much character, and it's like you really feel for this thing. And so at the end, you see these slaughterhouses, and just people like it kind of tugs at you a little bit. It's kind of like Babe. A little bit, you know what I mean? You're just like, you want this one pig that you followed the whole time to basically somebody looking at it and being like, oh, okay, we're going to save you.
Okay.
An R-rated Babe.
It's an R-rated Babe with a lot more to say, I think, probably, about, everyone's part in this. Everyone has a fight in this thing we call, like, the food industry. You know what I mean? It's like where you stand on that, and then what are your morals even beyond that, and how to fulfill what you think is right. Okay. So there's
still not made by Michael Moore,
and still not made by Michael Moore.
Or Al Gore
as the pig, maybe. Sorry, Al
wow.
Gore. I'm just saying he's a big guy. I don't mind Michael Moore.
I heard
but this is the very, very interesting movie. Very well acted. Tilda Swinton's fantastic. Jake Gyllenhaal's got this like really nasally, high pitched, geeky voice that he plays against type, which was great.
Because he's normally very deep, very white-esque.
Yes, and the basically, like I said, the pig and the little girl, the bread and butter of this movie. They're just so fantastic together. So this is definitely worth watching. It's already out on Netflix now, so you can probably watch it while you're still watching our show.
All right. No. Wait till after the show.
Uh-huh.
Okja. Okja.
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm going to take a couple quick minutes and close out because we are almost out of time. Dunkirk, blew my freaking mind.
They Dunkirked it up.
Stop.
You stopped it right.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Playing at 70mm at the Coolidge too.
Yeah,
folks.
Dunkirk. The story. Now, apparently, this is a major story. If you were raised in the UK, we here as Americans aren't really familiar with just the impact.
We get World War II
historical
movies, yeah.
impact. We do, but this is pretty much if you're in Texas, the Alamo. If you're
Right.
in the UK, it's Dunkirk. Like that's the importance of this one event.
It's the
for your
English
nation.
300.
I have no idea how to take that.
No, just don't.
But no. It's essentially like this is the story of if anyone doesn't know Dunkirk, the story of Dunkirk was it was 1940 at the one of the highest points / lowest points for the UK Army in World War II was the Axis powers had them stranded on the beach, and they could see home, they could see the UK, and they had no way of getting there. The Mole was was the port that all the ships came through, and they were picking up soldiers and wounded and all that, and taking them basically to safety, letting them retreat, and they had no way off. The Mole was pretty much destroyed, and they were stuck, and everything was tense. Every minute. Okay, this entire movie, it's like an hour and 45 minutes. It's one of Christopher Nolan's shortest movies, like totally, like bar none. But it was tense from like beginning to end. There's maybe 10 minutes total in this movie where I wasn't just like there on my chair, like
What Ebert would call a bruised forearm movie.
Hold your breath. Yeah, it was nuts. And it's not like action packed. It's set. The movie takes place on 3 fronts. There's the Mole, which is land. There's with the ships, the civilian commissioned boats. Boats commissioned, regular boats owned by people
who are helping out
by
with
the
the
Navy.
army.
Yeah, to travel over and bring people out of Dunkirk, bring the soldiers out of Dunkirk. And it takes place in the air with these 3 pilots, actually 2 pilots, played by Tom Hardy and whose name I forget right now. And that's another thing. This is a movie with Tom Hardy, but he is not the star. It's a movie with Cillian Murphy. He is not the star.
Right.
The star is this young kid who I think this is like his first major motion picture. And even if you go to his Wikipedia page, they don't even know what year he was exactly born in. It has born in either 96 or 97. And it's about...
It's on the border right there.
Yeah. It's about these young... He was born on Christmas Eve or on December 31st.
Yeah.
It's just the story of... on land, it's the story of these young soldiers. They're all just... Well, they're soldiers. At one point, you're talking to your boy. The next, he got shot in the back. Oh, time to find cover. And just move on. And then they get on ships and they get off ships. And they try to swim it. They're stuck in the water. There's planes that are coming to help them out, and then this one got shot down, and that one over there just abandoned them, and what's going on, and people going crazy, and it's nuts because it shows like war, the rawness of war. Yet there's like very little to no blood in this. And mind you, it's a war movie. Like there is plenty of violence, stuff happens, but the way Christopher Nolan shot this, it's like something happens and someone was just blown up, and instead of being like covered in guts and entrails, viscera, all that stuff all over the place, blood everywhere, the camera cuts away and you see the reaction. It's like horrible stuff is happening, but that's not the focus. And at no point in this do they cut back to. There's no shot of let me go back to Churchill, back at home base at HQ, and they're going over maps and charts, and this has to be this movie never leaves the action. And I enjoyed it. I was completely enthralled, and I didn't expect to be. I'll be honest. The trailers for this made it look really boring.
Yeah, I don't think the trailers. This is the first Christopher Nolan movie that didn't really amp me up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't think they sold it that well, but that doesn't mean I know it's a Christopher Nolan movie, so I was really excited anyway. But
honestly, I expected nothing. The trailers looked like it was going to be, we got Tom Hardy as this pilot. He's flying over the place and then in the sky, and I'm like, this looks stupid and boring. And I'm not English. I'm not invested in the story.
Who cares about their
freedom? Honestly, if I didn't have to do this review, I probably wouldn't have seen the movie. And I wouldn't have seen like one of the greatest pictures. And maybe I'm still riding high, because honestly, it was.
No, I'm getting the consensus of that from a lot of the reviews. I think that everyone seems to be right there.
What are we talking?
I still think Fate of the Furious is up. No, this one. You checked out?
Yeah,
all right, no. Just to wrap it up. I really don't want to harp on this too much because I'm pretty sure, like, if anyone's listening to any other review, what's the good stuff has been said. Cillian Murphy gave a great performance in a very uncharacteristic role for him. We're used to seeing him being the intelligent guy, the controlled guy, sometimes the pretty boy, but usually in charge of his faculties. And this one, he played against type in that. And you don't like him, but you're really impressed by his performance.
So,
you know, and another thing, Harry Styles, the singer dude, he's in this movie, and it was like a minor controversy because he's got some outside stuff going on I won't mention. And in this picture, also, he was cast, and Christopher Nolan didn't know who he was. He's not a fan of him. He's like,
well, Christopher Nolan said, "You got to trust me on this." People didn't like Heath Ledger when I cast him as the Joker, but that worked out well. So maybe trust my casting. That's what he said, which is, I guess, pretty true.
It works for him. He's not a huge character in this. He actually plays kind of an unlikable guy, but you know what? You remember him on screen. So, and this movie did not shy away from. It's like no one is safe. There's no, well, this guy's the hero. You know, they're magically gonna, there's none of that. And you get that sense early on, and it all played out beautifully. The acting was spot on. Sound design in this was perfect, and this was unique. They used a ticking clock for like almost all of the music. It was like very little music, and that clock was ever present. And normally we think a ticking clock, it's like, it's annoying. It's telling me time to speed up what's going on. Is it going to go faster? Is the bomb going to go off something? No, it somehow really worked to show that time is a factor in this movie. And I'm just so damn impressed because it seems like such a slow story, such a boring story, and he made it. I was like on the edge of my seat for most of the picture because everything is just so damn tense. Are the pilots gonna make it? Are the soldiers gonna make it? Are those ships gonna make it across? Is anyone gonna get sunk? If they do get sunk, are they still gonna swim out? What's going on? What the hell's going on? And no one is safe. The movie starts off with you thinking, okay, these guys, this is gonna be our protagonist. We're gonna see their escapade. Nope, see Dunkirk. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's a movie by Christopher Nolan. It's out in theaters now. You can see it, as Adam said, in the 70mm version. I saw it in IMAX. Either one works. It's beautiful. Sound design, I think, will definitely be up for Oscars because booms in this shook me. And it was just great. Bullets pass through, and you can almost hear them whiz by you in the chair. Dunkirk was an experience. And for someone who's nowhere near involved in it in the historical aspect, I really, I felt for them. I was there. It's Dunkirk by Christopher Nolan. It's out right now. It's starring Tom Hardy. It's starring people, but it's one to see just for the experience. I highly recommend it. If you saw it and want to chime in, or if you have anything, if you have an opposing opinion, who knows? Check us out on Twitch. Check out the version in here and leave us a message there. Twitch.tv/The Geek Down, or shoot us a message, geekdownradio@gmail.com. We'll swashbuckle. We'll see what's good. All right, but we've come to the end. This has been the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. I want to thank Black Adam Willis.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Just Johnny.
Yep.
And I want to thank you, the good people, for watching us, for listening to us. You can catch us every Monday nights right here on WEMFradio.com at 1 p.m. Or check us out at geek-down.com. That's our own site. On social media, we're on iTunes, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. You can watch us, see the archived version, see past episodes, see clips, see our pretty faces, and all types of good stuff like that there. Watch us on Twitch, same deal, twitch.tv/The Geek Down. We'll catch you all next time. Until then, what do we say, gentlemen?
Be excellent to each other.
Peace.
Get your hands off me!